Hi, welcome to Mrs. Riley's Maths videos. Today this is coordinate geometry, finding the area of a triangle when given some points of that triangle. This is Han Solo, I think, isn't it? Helping me out today. So what happens with this is that we're given a formula in our tables book, and this is the formula here, and I'll explain it in a minute. It's a half x1 y2 minus x2 y1 with these straight up lines here, and I'll talk about that in a moment. This is a formula we can use when we've been given the 3 points that are the corners or vertices of the triangle. One of those points must be 0, 0 to use this formula, and the other 2 points we call x1, y1, x2, y2. When we have 3 points, 0, 0, x1, y1, x2, y2, we can use this formula. Now, what does this formula mean? The formula means the area of a triangle is equal to a half. Okay, a half of something. A half of what? It's a half of x1, y2 minus x2, y1. Fair enough. x1, the first x value times the second y value, the second x value times the first y value, and then subtract them. These straight up lines, they kind of act like brackets, except the difference being that what they mean is take the positive value, okay, or the absolute value is what we say. Take the positive value of what you get when you do x1, y2 minus x2, y1. So if you get a negative answer when you do that, you take the positive. If you get a positive answer when you work out x1, y2 minus x2, y1, you take the positive answer. Okay? So maybe it'll make more sense if I work through a question, as usual. So here's a question here. We've got to find the area of the triangle with vertices, that's corners, okay, 0, 0, 2, 6, and 8, 3. Okay, so here's 0, 0. There's 0, 0. There's 2, 6, and there's 8, 3. So I've plotted these already. Let's just join them up to make the triangle. So there's our triangle. Now, if we didn't have the formula and we had to find the area of the triangle, I suppose what we could do is we could find the length of this and somehow find this height, or we could find the length of this and somehow find this height, but you know, it's going to be very complicated. So actually this formula will be very useful here. So what's our formula again? Our formula is a half x1, y2 minus x2, y1. Now, once you get the hang of this, it's actually really easy. Okay? Once you get the hang of this, it's just a question of making sure you have everything labeled correctly. So let's just take that again. We've got 3 points, 0, 0. We've got 2, 6, and we've got 8, 3. x1, y1, x2, y2. Do you notice I didn't give 0, 0, x1, y1, or x2, y2 because it's just a condition that has to be true. In other words, we have to have that point 0, 0, and then we can use the other 2 points in the formula. Without that point, and we'll see in the next video, without that point, we can't use this formula. Once we have that one of the points is 0, 0, then what we do is we take our other 2 points and we label them x1, y1 and x2, y2. Just remember, if this is x1, this has to be y1. If this is x2, this has to be y2. So let's sub these into our formula now. It's going to be a half, so the area of the triangle is going to be a half. Draw those straight lines. x1, which is 2, by y2, which is 3, minus x2, which is 8, by y1, which is 6. So what do we have? We've got a half of 2 by 3 is 6, 8 by 6 is 48. So 6 minus 48, which is a half of minus 42. And this is where these straight lines come into play. Because remember, they mean take the plus value. So take the plus value. So actually we say that the area is a half of plus 42, which is 21 units squared. Okay, watch that again if you need to, and see if it makes sense to you. Okay, let's look at a second example. So this one here says, find the area of the triangle with vertices or corners. Remember, vertices means corners. 0, 0, minus 3, minus 10, and 1, minus 4. Now I'm going to just draw a quick sketch here. I'm not going to do a full diagram, but I'm just going to draw a quick sketch to get an idea of what this would look like. This is X and this is Y. So 0, 0 is here. Minus 3, 10 would say be somewhere like this, say, somewhere up here, wouldn't it? Minus 3, minus 10. Let's do that again. Minus 3, minus 10 would be like somewhere down here. Minus 3, minus 10. And 1 minus 4 would be somewhere like this, maybe. 1 minus 4. So this triangle looks like this. It's a bit skinny. Now, this is only a sketch. It's a rough sketch, but it just lets us know roughly, and why this is useful we'll see later on in other examples. So this is a rough sketch. So again, our formula says the area of a triangle is a half x1 y2 minus x2 y1. Now always write down the formula. Always write down the formula. You'll get marks if you aren't given the formula and you write down the correct formula. Certainly in summer exams I'll give you marks for writing that down. But in the Leaving Cert you would get marks for subbing incorrectly. So I'm now going to say this is x1, y1 and this is x2, y2. Okay, definitely I'm going to get marks at this stage in the Leaving Cert because I've written down the correct formula and I've labelled my points, and now I'm going to sub those in. So x1, y2, so minus 3 is x1 multiplied by y2 is minus 4 minus x2, which is 1, multiplied by y1, which is minus 10. Okay, x1, y2 minus x2, y1. And then I'm going to have, well, minus 3 by minus 4 is 12, minus 1 by minus 10 is minus 10. Now, do you notice I'm keeping this in a bracket because here we have one of those weird situations where it's minus 10. So I'm going to have a half of 12 plus 10, which is a half of 22, which is 11 units squared. So in this example here, this triangle here, I've just found out has an area of 11 units squared. Okay, I hope that helps. It's complicated at first, but as you practice it, it gets much easier.